Okay, part two of the no thing is examining how easy you are to say no to. And I mean that seriously. This may come up in a couple of different ways. One is, well, I just want to know why they said no. You're curious. And it's easy to think that comes from a good place. And really, at the bottom of it, it does, because everything you do comes from a good place. It truly is rooted in love. Every fucked up thing you do is rooted in love because you're human, and that's what your basis is. That's what the base of you is made of. So if you're curious about why somebody might be saying no to you, you could definitely think of that as being a really big learning experience. Like, I want to know so that I can do better. Great ideas, right? Let's at the same time, if I'm role playing here and I go, hey Sam, do you want to go to the park with me? No. Why not? There's a little bit of pressure there. And that's really what we're trying to eliminate for the moment, okay? Think of it this way. Everybody, almost everybody in the world is essentially working on training wheels level of their capacity for honest communication. Okay, the vast majority of the billions of people in the world are not trained well, have not had good examples, have not had good models for what it is to have honest communication that makes them feel like they are going to be loved no matter what they do. And again, that fear of being ostracized from you, from any connection that they already have, which they've been taught are inherently fragile things that are going to be, that are supporting them in ways that they simply can't support themselves, is where most people are at before they learn how to support themselves better and attract those things in that just feel additive to what they already have going on. So on the one hand, we're just helping people operate in a better way with the training wheels that they're on currently. Okay, as they get more confident in their witness and they are able to say no without having any questions asked about their no, they will gain confidence and it will become easier to have those conversations. So for a little while at least, if that's always your habit, is always to ask, you want to question habits that you have anyway and see if you can put a little pattern disruption into there. Try just accepting when somebody says no. You'll probably surprise them in a good way. Now, the other side of it to look at for you as the person receiving the no is, why do you need to know? Is it completely based on the idea of personal growth, or is there a want or a need, an attachment, if you will, like a craving to wanting to know what it is that's stopping you from being included in their lives at this moment? Is there a fear there? Is there an underpinning of something that is leading you to an attachment and a need to know? There's a very big difference between curiosity and need, even though it may seem like something subtle. When I'm curious about something, there is a relaxed quality to it that allows me to be curious. My guard is down. I can be curious about checking out, think of a little kid checking out an anthill or something in nature. They're curious. They want to check out what it is, what's going on. That's interesting. If you ever see, but if you're pursuing something that you need to know the answer to, as soon as that word need comes in, you're getting into a craving and attachment territory, which does not have a relaxed underpinning, which is exactly why somebody may react to you in a way that feels threatening to you because you're perceiving a threat, which means you've probably not had no said to you a lot without it feeling safe for you. And I'm sorry. And it's a very powerful thing, in my experience and with everybody that I've done this with, to be able to say no and have it be just accepted. And in some ways, it takes somebody that has done some work in order to do that. But you can try that hat on at any time and see what that experience is like. So the base points here were that we're all in this together, and most of us are at a training wheel level of training. We're lifting 1 pound weights here. We're just getting into the gym, and and we're scared enough that it's easy to make us scutter away. If somebody puts something in that seems even the tiniest bit unsafe, it seems like they don't trust you. They need a reason for you to say no. It's not good enough that you just say no. So we're helping each other out. My idea is that we'll help each other out if we simply accept no without asking more questions. And you may even think of some examples of people that are saying no just to be coy. Let them be coy. Let them have it. Let them understand that words have meaning, and they'll learn quickly. Is that really a bad thing, to learn that your words actually have the intended effect, or have the are taken seriously? And I guess, and then the other point was just to look at yourself and truly look at the way that you accept no's. I saw an ad recently on Instagram where it was Judy Blume, the famous authoress, who wrote lots of books that many of us grew up on in our middle school years especially. And she said, rejection is hard. It's always hard. And I question basically anytime you bring down something bring in something into your life that is said so firmly as truth and is also based in fear. That is nothing that I ever want to associate myself with. Sorry, is that really, is it? Is that the way it is? Should I be afraid of that? I should always be afraid of rejection? And she talked about turning it around and like, oh, okay, but then I went and made a better book or whatever and submitted it. But at the same time, obviously that lesson is still with her. Like, nope, rejection is hard and it's always hard. And as long as that's the story that you're telling yourself, and as long as that's what you're expecting, you're going to be operating from a place of need and from anxiety and from a tightness, I would guess, in your chest and a pit in your stomach, versus actually embodying that feeling of gratefulness, of gratitude, and of relaxing when somebody says no to you, or having it be something that doesn't really affect you because they're simply operating in their own sphere. And you say, thank you for taking care of yourself. Thank you for your clarity. So that's part 2, and actually kind of what I meant to have as a part 3, all in one. I hope you enjoy. If you have any questions, or you want to tell me anything that's happened with you with experimenting with this stuff, please let me know. And if you want to join me in Durham, North Carolina, and work on these embodied practices in person, I'm going to be offering these as weekend courses and single one-day seminars. So I'm happy to hear from you and see what you're seeing and what you're experiencing and what your previous experiences have been, if this rang any bells for you. Look forward to meeting you. Thank you.